Hey everyone, this is Steve Good, and welcome to our next episode of the Coin Chat. Today I'm joined by my regular host, Yuri Cataldo. Welcome back, Yuri.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to be back again.
And we're welcoming a very special guest today who's currently running an ICO with a project called MyDFS. Her name is Kseniya, and Kseniya, I apologize, I cannot say your last name, so if you wouldn't mind sharing it for the audience.
Yeah, my surname is Ryazantseva, but you can call me Lasagna.
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 Yeah, lasagna.
So Kseniya Lasagna. So we're now moving, the podcast is now moving to Italy. So this week's episode will be recorded live from Venice. That sounds good, right, Yuri?
I love Venice. Yes.
But actually, it's the recording from Beijing, but it's okay. Let's call
well,
it
that's okay.
Yeah.
Beijing will be like little Venice today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you have amazing lasagna in Beijing.
Yeah, in Beijing, yeah. It's absolutely amazing here.
But now,
still,
honestly,
I prefer dumplings.
Kseniya, how many times have you actually had lasagna in Beijing? That's what we really want to know.
Twice, actually. I studied in China for more than 1 year. So, when you're getting tired of all this Chinese food, you're trying to find something European. Mm-hmm. And I tried lasagna twice, but actually it was my worst experience. So if you come to China, don't even try to find European cuisine here. So because it's awful. Yeah, better to eat dumplings.
Sure. So we've now moved into the topic of what's called epic fails, basically.
Yeah.
So on that note, I suppose the next logical question would be, have you tried spending any Bitcoin in China?
Nope. But if you're interested, how did I spend my first Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I booked a hotel. Yeah, I paid for a hotel during my vacation.
Amazing. What website did you use? Do you remember?
I ordered. No. I cannot remember it, but I paid for my hotel in Dominican Republic, so it's pretty close to the United States, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So close to you, Yuri.
What year was that? Do you remember?
2015, the end of 2015.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's very private for a bit, and I think I could afford myself longer staying there, actually.
So you know what? You're the first person on our show to actually be able to tell someone that they've spent Bitcoin. Well, no, actually, that's not true. Per Lind actually had spent Bitcoin on a beer. Yeah, he bought a beer, and it's probably like the most expensive beer he's ever had.
Yeah, and one of my friends actually bought a couch.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And now it's the most expensive couch I ever laid on, I think.
Wow. So I was in Miami about a week ago, and I went to a clothing shop called Penguin, which I didn't even know still existed. It's got a mixture of some vintage style clothes and some more modern things. So I wanted to get a pair of socks because my little boys liked the socks and said, "Oh, come on, let's get some socks, Papa." Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I got the socks, they picked them out, and then I said to the woman, can I pay with Bitcoin? And I honestly, she had the face of the Grim Reaper. Her face was like really, really long and extended, like this hollow look on her face, like she didn't know what I was saying. And my wife just looked and she said, just pay with the card, honey, let's go.
Wow, she was having none of that.
Yeah.
No, that was almost
in the next 2 or 3 years. Everyone will be using cryptocurrency everywhere. So
probably so. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
With it, actually.
No, yeah. As I told Yuri and the audience previously, Kseniya, and you've probably not heard this, but I did try spending the Bitcoin at a hotel a few weeks back, and the response was no.
No? Simply no?
No.
Simply no.
Yeah.
No, that was it. Just a simple no, and that was it, but a very stern one.
Whoa.
So speaking of spending cryptocurrency, you guys are working on you're the chief marketing officer at MyDFS. So first of all, tell us what what does DFS stand for those of us who don't know anything about gaming?
Yeah, so DFS stands for Daily Fantasy Sports. It's actually, fantasy sports is actually pretty massive industry in United States and Canada. Mm-hmm. You have FanDuel, you have DraftKings there. You know, the market cap reached $7.2 billion
wow.
in 2017. Yeah, and you know what is, actually I was working for gaming industry already for 3 years and a half. And for me, what was most interesting and unexpected that the average annual check per user is around $556. Mm-hmm. It's really huge. It's only in United States, in Canada. If you're working for example, in casual gaming or in mid-core gaming, it's around $2 or $3 maximum. But here it's $500.
And out of personal interest, because I'm in London, what about the UK? Because I would have thought that there's a lot of fantasy sport games that are online.
DraftKings is pretty popular there, but the main difference between Europe and United States and Canada that you need to get the gambling license to operate legally there. So actually we got one in 2017 to be fully legal and to legally operate fantasy sports industry in Europe, in European countries. We received UK gambling license. Actually, it was pretty tough. We spent around 8 months to get this document, but now we're done. So we're absolutely, absolutely
ready to go.
Clear. Yeah, and we're absolutely legal. Yeah,
great.
But in the United States, it's fantasy sport is considered like a game of skill. So you don't need to get any license to be legal there. So, because when you're playing fantasy sports, you're not playing with your Fathom or with the system. You're playing with other games or other gamers, other players who need to spend a lot of time studying sports statistics, studying everything about their favorite players, about their favorite teams. So you simply need to spend a huge amount of time simply studying it, and only then you can start playing fantasy. So I know, have you ever tried playing fantasy sports?
So I did back
Yuri.
in, what was it? I used to in like 5 or 6 years ago, but it wasn't online. It was through like a football league, like a local football league with a bunch of friends of mine. But I have heard that like in DraftKings, for example, most people aren't actually making money in DraftKings. It's the people who spend all their time studying statistics, and like a very small population are the ones who are actually making a pretty good living in DraftKings because of studying.
Because actually the industry traces its roots down to 1980s. So, and the casual fantasy sport as we have it right now, it is has the following mechanics. Like, all these sports fans. Oh, sorry. I think it's better if I start from the beginning. Like, actually, sport is the most addictive entertainment in the world. Everyone knows it. So I can even compare it to drug addiction, actually. So if one person becomes a sport fan, he continues to be the sport fan through entire life, and usually his kids become the sport fan too.
Exactly. That's really true.
Yeah, so all those sports fans, when they're watching the game online or on TV, or for example, they're going to the bar or to the stadium, they always screaming and they're trying to give advices to the coach, to the players, because they think they know the game better than anyone in the team does. So,
well, you should come to the pub in London sometime. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, everyone's a diehard when it comes to football, or by football I mean American soccer, British football, or European football. It's complete madness. And I have to say, I've fallen a victim to this now by being an Arsenal fan. So yes, I'm going to shamelessly plug my team. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but my sons are going to love Arsenal because that is the best football team on earth. Sorry, Manchester United fan. I'm going to get a lot of trolls on Manchester United and Tottenham and Chelsea now. I'm absolutely certain of that. But anyway, bring it on.
Yeah. So, fantasy sports gives those kind of fans, actually all these sport fans, the opportunity to become a coach for one day.
Right.
Okay, you think that you know the game. Show it to us. Show your best. Show how you can manage the team. Show that you can work as a coach and create the most effective team in the world. So, for example, you're a fan of Arsenal or Real Madrid. Okay, Arsenal. And you know that today in the evening, Arsenal plays against Real Madrid. So in the morning, you're downloading our application, MyDFS. You choose, you draft your own team from the players who's going to play today. And you can even mix the players from Arsenal and from Real Madrid.
Oh, no, I would never do that. No, I can't do that. That would just be shameful.
Sure, but sure, you hate them.
Miss Lasagna, how could you be, you're not even bringing the Italian AC Milan into the mix. You're bringing a Spanish team in now. What's going on here?
That's right.
Yeah, but
or Juventus.
Some sport fans can to make this kind of tricks.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay.
Right.
So after the work is done, you're going to the pub and you're starting to watch the game. Once someone from your team, makes good passes or, acts good, you're getting a score, you're getting points, and you're getting notification to your phone. So after the game, bam, for example, someone made a really nice pass through entire ground, and you got the notification that you scored 10 points. So after the game is finished, despite the fact who won the game, the team that actually got the biggest amount of points share the prize pool.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And this is for real money as well, is it? You're actually playing for real money.
Yeah, but we're playing with tokens. Like when we're using blockchain, we're playing with tokens. So you can, you're using MyDFS tokens, and after that you can go to exchange and change it to fiat money or to other cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So just changing topics for a moment. So it's very rare to find women in blockchain. I think there's been a survey that was done recently about, women in technology, and I think blockchain has fewer women than just about any other tech. How did you end up getting into blockchain?
Oh, actually I'm translated from Chinese. I forgot. Have I already mentioned it? 我会中文，所以我现在在北京待一个五天见面跟我们的合作伙伴。So actually,
so we've got subtitles for everybody that doesn't know what you're saying, by the way. We're very good about that.
No, I want to translate. It's my secret language, and some huge Chinese investors, when they hear it, they will go and buy our tokens. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So you just let people in China know. You let people in China know about the podcast, and we'll most happily make sure they've heard your podcast in particular.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. I need to make an advertisement, on WeChat.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone has to shamelessly plug a little bit about what they're doing in life. That's half the fun of being on a podcast. So seriously, how did you end up in blockchain? Is there a passion you had for it, or was it more just a journey that you've been on in the gaming and sports space that led to this?
I'm actually really passionate about mobile advertising and mobile gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So. Our team has been working on fantasy sports projects since 2015, so we're not actual newbies in this industry. So the first step is we're really highly skilled team with the experienced in fantasy sports. So we have two projects, ongoing projects that we released in 2016. The first one is You Coach, You Trainer, and the second one is KHL Fantasy. So blockchain, we decided to merge blockchain in the end of 2017 to solve major industry problems. So it wasn't like, it wasn't unexpected for me to start working with blockchain. It was like, first of all, we have an application that we're working on during last 2 years, and then we just decided to merge it with blockchain.
It's very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an existing company already.
Simply jump into
right.
blockchain.
And so DFS is already an existing company. It's already making money, and you're simply now taking that business and
profitable.
What's that?
We have what? I'm sorry.
No, we didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Yeah. The trainer is existing company.
Okay.
As I already told you, our team has been working on fantasy sports applications since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, we released two projects. The first one is You Trainer. It's You Coach in English. It's pretty popular in Eastern Europe, Russia, even in India. We have, all those India fans who was playing fantasy cricket. That's why we even integrated fantasy cricket to our platform. Because we got a lot of users coming from India.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And the second project, U-Trainer actually covers football, soccer, basketball, hockey, hockey. And the last one is cricket. Mm-hmm. And we have another project called KHL Fantasy. It's white label KHL application. KHL stands for Continental Hockey League. It's the biggest hockey league in Europe. And it's focused only on hockey. It was featured by App Store several times. So the guys from App Store loves it. And it got Marspo as the best sport app in 2017.
Fantastic.
So
wow.
So those two projects and, the experience of other fantasy sports companies helped us to understand what problems exactly the industry has. That's why we decided to merge existing platform with blockchain to solve those kind of problems and to bring to bring some advantages to the industry.
So you're using the token for, I guess from what I read, because I had a quick look at your white paper, of course, to just understand what you guys are doing. So it sounds like there's a number of ways that you're using your own token within the platform. So you're creating smart contracts for a seamless transaction. And I saw that there's some sort of transaction taking place between the purchasing of the game activities as it connects to the actual exchange or token as it is on the real market. Is that right?
Yeah, we're using, actually we don't, as you see, we don't use our own blockchain technology. We use third party, we use Ethereum.
Right.
MyDFS is Ethereum based utility token.
Okay.
So the first advantage is transparency instead of back-end proprietary systems, because as I already told you, our existing products and the experience of USA giants helped us to understand that transparency is the most important thing in this industry, because you're playing with the money. It's still betting. So users need to understand with whom they're actually playing, and they need to have this ability to check the game history, to check the all stats. Blockchain makes the data fully transparent and absolutely publicly accessible. So those two giants, starting from 2016, are getting lawsuits from users because users simply cannot check the stats and cannot understand who actually shared the prize pool at the end of the game, because they are using backend proprietary systems. So those situations can usually bring rumors about insider gaming on, some bot playing inside the game, or some employees.
Right. So by having all of this,
who actually knows the stats,
right. So you're actually keeping out the spammers. You're keeping out spammers and scammers, for example, by putting it on the blockchain and making it a much more authentic style of play with faster transactions.
And when we're using blockchain in the game, you cannot simply go and change the stats. You cannot, change your team. So if you draft your team in the morning, you cannot change it by the end of the day when you already know the stats. So every user can go and check that. I know, for example, Steve won $1 million today at the evening, and everyone can go and check through smart contracts that Steve created exactly this team using exactly those players in the morning. So the game is fair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Possibility to create some kind of rumors around the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creating a level of transparency that you wouldn't otherwise get, because if I'm playing on just connecting by logging in and looking at a database, they usually won't show that information anyway. So you're making the whole thing much more transparent.
Like, as I already told you, I'm working for gaming industry already for 3 years, and for me all those scammers and some kind of bots paying making in-app transaction, it was a really, really huge I'm sorry, can I say this pain in the ass? And actually, for me blockchain, blockchain is the merging between blockchain and gaming industry is inevitable, because it brings transparency, and it's exclude all those scammers and bots from the transaction process.
Okay.
From
interesting.
In-app purchases process.
Yeah. Right.
Interesting.
So the second problem that we noticed is middleman inside the payment process. So smart contracts, because we're not using the fiat money, exclude the middleman, the third party from the payment process, and the tokens are going directly to the user's account, so user can instantly withdraw it and get the winnings. Because it's usually there always should be a middleman or a third party that make a transaction between the platform, despite is it a gaming platform or advertising platform and your bank account. So we simply exclude this third party from the process and make all the payments instant and safe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the third, it's not actually a problem, it's our advantage. We created a new feature that we are pioneering to the fantasy sports industry. It's called player brokerage. There are always, it's not only about daily fantasy sports, but about the whole gaming industry. There are always some gaming nerds, some guys who are spending a lot of time studying statistics, studying.
Yuri, did she just call us nerds?
No, she said gaming nerds.
Oh, gaming nerds. I don't know. I mean, she doesn't know if we're gaming guys. Kseniya, you don't know if we're gaming. You don't know if we're gaming guys or not.
What's your favorite game? What do you actually game? What do you actually play all the time?
I like Skyrim, but that's because it's more like a fantasy game where you're walking around in a 360 world experience, and you're casting spells and making your own armor and your own swords and weapons, and solving the various challenges they give you throughout the game. And to be honest, I started it a long time ago, and I'm probably the slowest player in the world, but mostly because I haven't had the time to play it. But it's a really cool game.
Wow, Steve, you are a gaming nerd.
Yeah, and I used to like to play I used to play Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, but I liked
Warcraft is amazing. mean, it's like
Yeah, it's a great game.
It's a galaxy, actually. They created the new world.
Yeah.
I'm actually a fan of video games and some of hardcore or mid-core games, and such as Silent Hill, for example. I love it.
Well,
Like,
see,
you know,
I don't want to
really
date myself.
good.
I don't want to date myself too much here, but it used to be back in the day I was popping quarters into machines in arcades where I was playing Pac-Man.
Oh, really?
I still do
Yes.
that.
That one is the first one. I think it's
Yeah,
the first
so there,
one in the world.
every mall back when I was a kid, we always had an arcade, and mom and dad were going off shopping, going to whatever department store, and you'd ask them for a couple of dollars, and you'd go off and play games and pop the quarters into all the the machines. And it wasn't about playing pinball; it was about playing Asteroids or Frogger or Pac-Man or later on Miss Pac-Man or a whole variety of other games that were out there, which I could go on and on about, but I won't because I don't want to make myself look really, really old right now.
You mean look
So,
really
Yuri, what
cool
about
right
you?
now?
Do you game?
I don't. So I am not a gamer in that sense. I never really got into kind of the fantasy game type of thing. I used to play a lot more sport type games, but I realized in grad school that I have kind of an addictive personality, and so rather than doing anything, I would spend my entire day playing video games. So I stopped entirely. So I don't.
Yeah.
And we can confirm this
Yes,
addiction
we
because we can confirm this addiction, Kseniya, because we cannot get Yuri off the podcast now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
It's
But I was gonna
okay,
say. I'm going to say, Steve,
Yeah.
you actually now can go to bars. There's a lot of bars that have these video games. So
Yeah.
you are now the cool person because you can have a beer, have an amazing burger, and still play Miss Pac-Man for a quarter.
Yeah, and show your best to all those guys,
Yeah, exactly. All the millennial kids are going to love you.
Not in the pubs though, because in the pubs here we end up more with if you find something, it'd be like a gambling type game, like almost like a slot machine of sorts. But even so, you don't find that all that often because let's face it, everyone's watching their sports team and yelling at the players, and that's what we do, and we drink pints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our third advantage, I think I need to explain more about it. It's called player brokerage. So, as I told you, there are those kind of guys that spend a lot of time studying statistics, especially in fantasy sports games. They're really, really keen on sport, and they spend a lot of time simply, looking through all the stats their favorite players has, their team has. And, the other guys who actually have money, they have really fancy cars, and, they usually are, some kind of CEO or, are at the top of really huge companies. They don't have time to study the stats and, to understand the game processes, but they want to feel special too. They want to become winners too. So they can look through the smart contracts, find the top player on MyDFS who actually has the highest results, discuss the percentage, some kind of, payout for him, to agree on this payout, hire this person to play in the league for him and to win. And when this person, this kind of gaming nerd, wins, the guy who hired this pro player gets the winning, and then give the percentage to the player, the pro player.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So you can sponsor players.
So,
that's really cool.
Yeah. This is really good, and it's both sides are this is a win-win story. Like there is a pro player
Very cool.
who actually earn money on his knowledges, and there's the second side, this casual user who can feel special, who can feel who can become a winner without spending time, and I think this
Very
is really cool. Yeah.
So some very, very cool features that you guys are working on. So just very quick summary of the project because we're nearing time here. So you're running an ICO. What are the dates that your ICO is running, and how much are you trying to raise?
So our pre-sale already started. It started on April 16th on Monday.
Okay.
And it's going to finish on May 6th, or once the cap is reached.
Okay.
And our token sale starts on May 21st, and it's going to finish on June 12th, or when hard cap is reached.
Okay.
Our soft cap is $4 million, and hard cap is $40 million.
40. Okay.
Yeah, but
cool.
And our platform is actually already built, and we are going to release it to App Store, Google Play, and on the web in the mid of May to cover upcoming the biggest soccer event of 2018. It's FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
going,
So we're giving the opportunity to access our beta version to our investors and to some of our investors, and of course to our advisory board. And again, like talking about FIFA is going to partner with McDonald's for 1 month to release their own product, own fantasy that will be promoted in all McDonald's all over the world. But it will be for fun engagement only. So after 1 month, when the FIFA is finished, this application will be deleted from app stores, but there will be a huge audience looking for the right application to continue playing. So here we are. And
very cool.
We give the opportunity for all those users to win, actually, not simply to play.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So now on a slightly separate note, so just I think something that's always interesting for our female listeners, what can you offer or suggest to other women who are either in blockchain but want to do more, or who just want to jump in and do something in blockchain? Is there anything you can offer as a suggestion to other women out there who want to get involved with blockchain?
I think first of all they need to find the right product they want to work on.
Okay.
Because there is always the question about your interest. So I'm really keen on advertising on mobile applications and especially on gaming. That's why I'm involved in blockchain.
Right.
So first of all, you need to find the product you want to work with, and then you should decide.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
The right guy who knows everything about blockchain, who will explain you more.
Or they can just listen to our podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, or sure thing, they can do a podcast with you guys.
Yeah, very good. Well, listen, Kseniya, it's been a real pleasure. You're really a lot of fun to listen to. You've got a great accent when you speak Chinese. Do you want to say anything else to the audience in Chinese before you go?
男人我要说谢谢大家去检查我们的网站，也请你们来买我们的代币 MyDFS 代币 MyDFS 是最厉害的最酷的最棒的文化体育平台。
Fantastic. So Yuri, whatever she said, it wasn't very nice about us being nerds, and we're going to take that away and we're going to think about it.
No.
So we'll leave it on a positive note. I'm just joking with you, Kseniya. We know that you didn't say anything about us being nerds in Chinese, and even if you did,
we appreciate it.
No,
won't hold it against you, and we'll never invite you back. No.
Oh, please, come on! I will advertise you through my WeChat account. I have a lot of
lovely
subscribers there. Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we have win-win. We have win-win deal.
Absolutely.
Don't please cut off my Chinese.
It's been a real pleasure having you on the channel. Kseniya R, as you say on your LinkedIn, or lasagna as you're called in Chinese.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, like, because Ryazantsev is too difficult to pronounce.
Well, yeah, I heard lasagna. Right. They roll their L's.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. So
thank you, Kseniya.
For all of our listeners, stay tuned for another exciting episode of the Coin Chat following on next week. To the moon. Until our next episode next week. Thank you, Kseniya, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.